Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Contracts Unfolded. So in the last video, we talked about two boilerplate clauses. Now continuing our boilerplate clauses explanation series, today we will be talking about two more clauses, which are the entire agreement clause and the amendment clause. So let's start. So let's first understand the entire agreement clause. Now this clause says something like this: this agreement constitutes the entire understanding between the parties and supersedes all prior communications, negotiations, or other things. In simple terms, it means only the things that are present in the document counts, and the rest other things which were discussed earlier, be it via email exchange, be it via phone calls, be it via WhatsApp messages, or be it via video calls such as Zoom calls or Google Teams. Now all those things does not make the agreement until and unless they are included in this agreement. And this is extremely important because during negotiations many promises are made, the capabilities of the products are discussed, timelines are discussed, assumptions are discussed. But if those discussions are not captured in the final agreement, then the entire agreement clause may prevent the other party from relying on those discussions later. And this is exactly the purpose of this clause. This clause protects against the uncertainties. This clause protects against a party when it says, oh, but you promised us this thing during the negotiations. And if it is not written in the contract, it is not enforceable. And that's why this clause provides certainty to the businesses. Now, let's talk about the amendment clause. So an amendment clause answers one very basic question: how can a change be made in the agreement? And usually this clause says something like this: this agreement shall only be amended in writing when signed by the both parties. And upon reading, this sounds too obvious. But think about how business operates on day-to-day basis. Emails are exchanged, WhatsApp messages are sent, teams go on video calls and might discuss some changes in the project, and sometimes the work related to the change request may start based on verbal communications only. Now, without an amendment clause in the agreement, there can be a confusion whether those changes are legally binding upon the parties or not. And that's why the purpose of this clause is to give clarity. This clause not only prevents from accidental modifications, but it also prevents one party from saying that, oh, but that email conversation changed the contract. It basically forces the formal documentation of changes. Now, why this clause is important? This clause is important because in commercial contracts, changes happens often. Timelines shifts, fees are revised, and additional services are added. And if your amendment clause is strict, then every change must be documented. But if it loosely drafted, then disputes can arise on the thing whether a certain change was agreed between the parties or not. Now let's see how these two clauses operate together. On the one hand, the entire agreement says only the things that are documented in this document governs the relationship. The amendment clause says anything that the parties need to change must be also in writing and must also be signed. And together they forms a closed system. Nothing before the signed agreement counts and nothing after the signed agreement counts until and unless it is also in writing and signed by the both parties. And this closed structure reduces ambiguities and also reduces the informal misunderstanding between the parties. So that was all for this video. If you find this video helpful, consider sharing this video with other people and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for your time.